You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart. The press doesn't like when they say it. You know, I said that President Xi of China, 1.4 billion people, he controls it with an iron fist. I said he's a very smart man.
You know, people can say what they want to say, you know, publicly. It's a free country, and elected leaders have that liberty and that freedom.
That's a former leader, senator of the free world. That's a former president of the United States. Saying these things about Hezbollah, repeating the name Barack Hussein Obama constantly at a West Palm Beach speech. Is that behavior and wording that you want to hear out of your likely Republican nominee for president of the United States?
All right, someone get Simone Biles on the phone and let her know that her crown is under threat, because just watch the gymnastics this man is about to perform as he bends himself into a pretzel to avoid even the slightest condemnation of his fearless cult leader.
All I'm simply saying, Neil, is I don't think his age has anything to do with that. I think he's making statements he wants to make, and yes, I mean, I don't view.
Now, it's safe to say that, judging by Trump's recent comments, two things are true. Barack Obama is chilling on a recliner rent-free in this man's head.
Is inviting them in. You know why? Because he's got a boss. Who's his boss? Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein. Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. Here you go, Barack Hussein Obama.
Brian, it's all coming through Iran, and Obama he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to mention, he doesn't even mention them in his statements. It's all coming through Iran.
Well, you mean President Biden?
And two, in that same head that produced gems like Man, Woman, Camera, TV, it seems to be struggling with simple, coherent sentences.
Thugs who have weaponized law enforcement to arrest their leading political opponent, and leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country is very divided.
And struggling to comprehend things you would hope that the previous leader of the free world would grasp. Hezbollah bad, dictators bad. But I guess that would mean spiting the man in the mirror.
Yep. This is Hezbollah, very smart. Crazy Chinese President Xi Jinping, dictator who has overseen China's downfall over the past 5 years, a very smart man. Russian President Vladimir Putin, a genius and savvy. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, who is considered by most human rights organizations to be the most tyrannical, the most oppressive leader in the world. He calls him, quote, a great leader.
Anyway, while discussing said unhinged madness on Fox News, host Neil Cavuto opted to push back as Republican Minority Whip did his very best to downplay Trump's comments.
People can say what they want to say, publicly. It's a free country, and elected leaders have that liberty and that freedom.
That's a former leader, senator of the free world.
Actions,
that's a former president of the United States. Saying these things about Hezbollah, repeating the name Barack Hussein Obama constantly at a West Palm Beach speech. Is that constructive behavior, criticizing Benjamin Netanyahu in this environment, at this powder keg moment? Is that behavior and wording that you want to hear out of your likely Republican nominee for president of the United States?
All I'm simply saying, Neil, is I don't think his age has anything to do with that. I think he's making statements he wants to make, and yes, I mean, I don't view Hezbollah or Hamas to be smart. I view them to be evil and depraved. That's how I would characterize it. He has under our Constitution, the liberty to say what he wants to say, and he can be judged for it. And I think that's what the American people are going to have to do. And they're going to have an opportunity to do that in a presidential election that's coming up ahead of us. But I think how you characterize things in an environment like this, sort of a high-threat environment, if you look at the dangers that we face around the world, is important. And I hope people, as they look at these leaders, will make decisions and conclusions based upon who they think is best able to manage not only the United States of America and our domestic challenges, but the global stage where the rest of the world looks to the U.S. for leadership.
President, but Donald Trump had said yesterday in Florida that Hezbollah is very smart. He linked the Israel attack to the rigged U.S. election, that the attack wouldn't have happened if he were president. Also in a West Palm Beach speech, he repeatedly mentioned Barack Hussein Obama, said it several times. Without getting into the particulars of that, do you think that's the right tone to set at a time like this?
Well, I think Donald Trump needs to answer for Donald Trump's own comments.
And while it's not the direct, unapologetic torching that we seen earlier in the day on MSNBC, still, for Fox, it's something.
Out of his mind, I mean, praising Hezbollah, just like he praised Vladimir Putin, said he was brilliant.
You have all these arguments about Joe Biden and his age. Please take a look at him over the past 2 days. And you mentioned Taiwan, you mentioned Ukraine, you mentioned the situation in Israel and the Middle East. Now, Joe Biden is basically managing a conflict and an entire world order. And he's doing it with clarity.
And Trump has been on quite the tear recently, offering the Biden social media team endless content. From his Obama ramblings, convinced that he beat him in 2016, to his recent praise of Hezbollah and the Chinese president.
The United States stands with Israel.
We see whales washing up on shore because of the wind. Even with subsidies, these companies are all canceling out because it doesn't work. So the whales will be very happy about that.
What I find hilarious about this, right, is when you listen to Trump supporters talk about what they love about their fearless cult leader, they always say that he stands up for America to dictators and shows strength. When if you actually look at what he said in the past, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Appreciate the gentlelady's passion. There are two facts that she should perhaps be alerted to. One is that Donald Trump, on more than 20 different occasions, defended the performance of the Chinese government, and specifically President Xi, in terms of his treatment of COVID-19.
When we zero in on the final months of the war, my Republican colleagues refused to examine the elephant on the battlefield, President Trump's disastrous decision to cut out the Afghan government and negotiate directly with the Taliban, and then to enter into a dangerously lopsided agreement with these authoritarian religious fanatics.
But just because he pushes his way to the front of a line like some petulant school bully, he's somehow a beacon of strength. What is strong about any of this?
But Hezbollah, they're very smart. And they have a national defense minister or somebody saying, I hope Hezbollah doesn't attack us from the north. So the following morning they attacked. They might not have been doing it, but if you listen to this jerk, you would attack from the north because he said that's our weak spot. But Hezbollah, they're very smart.
Because nothing about this clown or any of the GOP members using this unimaginable tragedy to demonize the current administration represents strength. It's cowardice.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.